Welcome back to the channel, friends. Today, as you can see, we'll be going over a little bit more information than we have been about the actual 25 caliber Marauder itself. I've been doing a lot of videos and test shooting and pellet reviews with this specific rifle, so I figured I would get into one of the actual problems that I've run into over the course of the ownership that I've had. Before I get into anything negative whatsoever about this rifle that I've encountered, I would like to firmly voice everything positive about it. This has been by far the most accurate rifle that I've ever owned as far as an airgun is concerned in my life, at any distance that I've tested it at, pretty much in any condition with most pellets. I would say on a break barrel's best day, a bad day with a Marauder will easily outclass it. Also, given the consistency, the energy, the shot count, and honestly the repeatability downrange, I would say for the price point that I paid for this specific rifle, it's very difficult to do better at that sub $600 level to do better than Marauder and 25 cal. So, having said all that, I would say this has been the best airgun purchase that I have made yet so far in my collection, and I have only encountered one problem. That problem would be not with this rifle itself, but actually with the magazine. The problem that I've encountered is sometimes the spring tension from the Benjamin factory does not sufficiently move each pellet into a position where it can be fired. Let's get into the video, guys. I'll show you what I mean and I'll show you how to fix it. Alright guys, what you have in front of you are two seemingly identical Marauder magazines, but they are not equal. The Marauder magazine that is on the left-hand side, this one right here, this is a correctly functioning magazine. And I'll show you what sense I mean. You have a full magazine loaded. No problem pushing this pellet directly into the index position necessary to push it into the breech. And it does that with all of the pellets that are in the magazine. This one, on the other hand, let's go ahead and try that. You notice this spring does not seem to have enough tension to be able to rotate the final round in this magazine into the index position necessary to push it into the breech with the bolt. You can kind of see the difference between these two magazines here. The one on the left currently has no rounds left within it, and the little black plastic tab that applies tension to each of the pellets is in the position where the pellet would normally be. This magazine here, however, you'll see that there's just an empty void and a pellet waiting to move into the position of that empty void if there was enough spring pressure on this little black tab that pushes those rounds into position. Even once all of the rounds are removed the magazine manually, you can see that that black plastic tab does not come into the correct position necessary to close this magazine as empty. Now on the back of this magazine here, you'll note 3 holes, 1, 2, and 3 right here. These 3 holes are actually holes that are used to hold the back of the spring tab in position so you actually get tension on that black plastic piece within the magazine itself. So we're going to note that this spring is in this position here next to the magazine hole, and then open the magazine up. It's under some tension, so try not to let the pieces kind of get away from you. Alright, whammo. You can see that there's a spring, and you can see that there's a small tang on this spring here, which locks itself into one of the 3 of those holes right there. Previously we were in this hole up here. We're going to move our tab around to this hole over here, hopefully give ourselves about 1/3 more tension on this spring than we previously had. I'm coming up with 1/3 based on the fact that there's 3 points, and if I go 1 point further than I was previously, that's about 30% more tension. And I just kind of set it in there like so. You can see now that that tang is sitting in a different point than it was sitting previously, and hopefully what that's going to allow us to do is put just a little bit more spring pressure on that black plastic indexing piece that's inside the magazine. On the back of the black plastic piece, there's a small channel, like a keyway. You can kind of see it off to the right hand side. That keyway is going to match up with this other tang that's on the other side of this spring. It's really easy to fit it on there. You can hear it when it clicks into position. And I just rotate this guy around, working it past the little hump right there. And now we are under a little bit more tension than we were previously. You can see that because the closed position is now fully visible on the back side of the magazine. Let's go ahead and button this thing back up and see if we got it correctly put together. Ready to go. Now when you guys tension this up as a final torque is concerned, don't go crazy on it, because the faceplate itself, this clear piece on the back of the magazine, that ability to move is actually dictated by whether or not this screw is correctly tensioned or not. That feels about right. We have some tension on it, it moves over the tang, but it also clicks securely into place. As you can see now, both magazines closed in the fully empty position. Let's go ahead and get both of these loaded back up, and we'll go ahead and cycle them through and make sure they're functioning correctly. Alright guys, so we've got our two magazines loaded back up. Let's go ahead and cycle these through using an Allen wrench instead of the bolt of the rifle, and we'll see if both of these function as intended. No problems with that one. Second magazine. No problems there. Alright guys, well that kind of concludes this video on how to go ahead and maybe add a little bit of spring tension to your Marauder magazine if you're not getting the full capacity out of it. I have 8 Marauder magazines currently, and this has happened on 3 of them, so I would definitely say that this is probably a common problem. Hopefully this is something that if you've been dealing with it recently, you might have been able to rectify it with this video. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that thumbs up button, subscribe for more pellet videos, and if you've really liked this video, go ahead and share it so someone else can see it. Alright guys, I'll catch you in the next one.